Nobody expected Ferrari to build something like this. Not because it's fast, not because it's futuristic, but because the moment you look at it, it doesn't feel like a Ferrari anymore. This is the Ferrari Luce. And right now, it might be the most controversial concept Ferrari has ever shown to the world. Because for decades, Ferrari stood for one thing above everything else. Emotion. The sound. The aggression. The drama. Every Ferrari looked alive. Even standing still, they felt dangerous. But then this appeared. And suddenly people started asking the same question. Is this even a Ferrari?
And then Dodge showed them the 2027 Charger EV, and the room went very, very quiet. I have covered automotive reveals for years. I know the difference between a car that impresses a crowd and a car that stops one. The 2027 Dodge Charger EV stopped one. Not because it was unexpected, but because it was undeniably, uncomfortably, completely right. Like something that should have always existed and simply hadn't been invented yet. Look at the exterior and understand immediately that Dodge made a decision. The most important design decision this brand has made in decades. They did not make the Charger look like an electric car. They did not round the edges, soften the aggression, or add the kind of aerodynamic friendliness that most EV manufacturers use to signal environmental responsibility. They made it look more like a Charger than any Charger has ever looked. The wide body stance is wider than the previous generation.
The front end is lower, more aggressive, more planted. A face that doesn't ask permission from anyone. The signature Charger proportions, long hood, short rear deck, wide hips, are all present and all amplified. The frameless windows, the muscular rear haunches, the aggressive roofline that drops toward the back with the confidence of something that has nothing to prove and knows it. The only thing missing is the exhaust tips. And Dodge, because they understand exactly who they are building this car for, built a solution for that too. But we'll get there. The hood carries a power bulge that serves no functional purpose in an electric car. Dodge put it there anyway, because a Charger without a hood bulge is not a Charger. That is not engineering. That is identity. And identity is something this brand has never been willing to compromise.
At night, the new light signature transforms the front of the car into something that feels genuinely menacing. 6 individual LED elements arranged in a pattern that Dodge describes as Fratzog-inspired, referencing the brand's iconic 1960s logo, glow with a cold precision that makes the 2027 Charger EV look less like it is parked and more like it is waiting. Step inside, and Dodge has delivered something nobody expected from an American muscle car interior. Genuine quality. Not approximate quality. Not quality that makes excuses for itself. Real, considered, properly executed interior quality that pits this car in a conversation with European sports cars that would have been unthinkable 5 years ago. The seats are wide and supportive, with bolstering that holds you through corners without making you feel restrained. The dashboard is dominated by a 12.3-inch curved display running the Dodge-specific interface. Dark, aggressive, legible at a glance, designed for someone who is about to drive rather than someone who is about to browse. The steering wheel is thick and flat-bottomed, with controls that fall naturally under your thumbs without looking.
The ambient lighting runs in deep red, because of course it does. This is a Dodge. Tracing the door panels and dashboard in a color that makes the interior feel like the inside of something that is already angry. The materials are genuinely impressive. Alcantara on the headliner, real stitching on the dash, carbon fiber trim that is carbon fiber and not carbon fiber print. This is not the Charger interior of 10 years ago. This is a car that grew up and brought its attitude with it. Now here's where things get properly, historically insane. Sources confirm the 2027 Dodge Charger EV is running a dual-motor all-wheel drive system producing 670 horsepower in standard configuration and In the Charger EV SRT Banshee trim, 800 horsepower with full torque available at 0 RPM. 800 horsepower. Instant, complete, available the moment your right foot makes a decision. 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds for the standard car and 2.7 seconds in Banshee specification. The quarter mile in under 11 seconds. Numbers that would have defined the fastest muscle car in history in any previous era, delivered silently, without a single cylinder firing, without a drop of fuel consumed. And about that silence, Dodge.
They absolutely knew that taking the sound away from a Charger was going to be the thing that broke people. The exhaust note of a Hellcat V8 is not just a feature. It is a cultural artifact. It is the sound of American performance identity. And Dodge, to their enormous credit, did not pretend that removing it was acceptable. They built a system called Fratsonic Chambered Exhaust, an active sound system that generates and projects a genuine, physical, resonant muscle car sound through chambers at the rear of the car. It is not a speaker. It is not recorded sound played back through the audio system. It is engineered acoustic output that produces a sound at 126 decibels, louder than the V8 it replaces, that has made grown men who swore they would never accept an electric Charger stand behind one at a car show and immediately change their position on several things they thought were non-negotiable. 126 decibels from an electric car doing a burnout in America.